Hello to my wonderful listeners. One Family TV wada mutanale nan kotenke. Mbadungol ikafo minister meye ko Ismaila Ceesay. Atele moti meyalon ko ay jabiro ke mola de ikafo meye ko Alagie Barrow. Ala interview to meyalon ko ay wole ke dulato de meyalon ko anin Peter Gomez West Coast to de. Mbadungol be audio natal na meyalon ko atandi ko ako. Nimmo molati meyalon ko wole mo Alagie Barrow ti. Ako mo molati meyalon ko ako ma wasade. Bar modol be jede men yalon ko iyade fon jabi de me yalon ko wala mo ate Ismaila Ceesay de ala kuma kan do la de me yalon ko ay wala fo nin kendi ngoma ikafo me ko Alagie Barrow ako mo moti me yalon ko amanke mo wasamati de me yalon ko adiyam ta wala de ba modol fana be jede me yalon ko idiyam tan na député wala de ka tandi la ko e nyante ke kulal de nin draft constitution me yalon ko wala be lale e nyati wala ka banko wala sulo jibe de ikana kunkilina mo kunkilina ko la sulo jibe o draft nin kono de me yalon ko ibalandile e nyaati ngoni nade oto mbaadi ngolo anna audio nin tan ne lamani hakkilola mbaadi ngolum kane ilamo anin jusola de
This is a man, Alagie Barrow, who is a coward, who is not trustworthy, but also who is not reliable, and also who is ungrateful, and I'll tell you why. He's a coward because he's one of the masterminds of the December 30th coup in 2014. He was supposed to come with his colleagues to overthrow Yahya Jammeh. He stayed behind, and his colleagues were killed, and he ran away. The second thing is that he's not trustworthy. When after Barrow came to power, he came running to Barrow looking for a job, was given a job at the TRRC. He didn't complete his job. He got himself a wife there, and he left with the wife, not completing his job, his assignment in the TRRC. He's not trustworthy. He's ungrateful because why? It's now that he can now make statements by giving his full name. Under Jammeh used to use a pseudonym called Eden Sharp. Why wasn't he using his real name under Jammeh? It means he was a coward, and he's ungrateful. And he should be thankful to Barrow that the space, the freedom that Barrow has created. Now he can use his real name to criticize the government. We have no problems with that. They can critique. But I think it should be fair, but also to do it in a manner which is very professional. I think that is my response to Alagie Barrow. Now, when it comes to the, you said my name has been everywhere. Yes, I made statements, and I stand by those statements that nobody, no organization, no movement, being political or otherwise, can stop President Barrow from running in 2026 if he so wishes to do so. Perhaps some people took offense in the manner in which I said it, the comportment, and I regret it. I think it was unbecoming of me to make those statements in such a manner. That one I take full responsibility. But what I said, I still stand by it. Not nobody, no organization, no being political or otherwise, can stop the president from running in 2026 if so wishes to.
No, if that was all you said, I mean, why should anybody take offense at that?
Well, the manner in which I said it, they thought it wasn't very professional. The comportment wasn't good, and I accept. It's unbecoming of me to speak like that. I never speak like that.
Well, you know, Madi, I mean, he did a long piece on that, alleging that actually you insulted the parents of Gambians in the diaspora.
Well,
why would you want to do that?
I never did. I mean, what I said is that nobody's dad owns the Gambia. Why is he lying that? Whose dad owns it? Even my dad doesn't own the Gambia. I did not insult anybody's parent. Now, when it comes to Madi is suffering from a dual syndrome of idleness and bitterness. Therefore, that is why now his main task is to just attack the presidency. I think Madi should go political, and that organization he has created, the Edward Francis Small, whatever he has created, should go political. Madi cannot be hiding behind activism to do politics. He's just transformed that organization into a political party and come to the terrain and do politics. He can't be hiding behind activism to.
Nyindali lole ati nang kumatako. Nta wule tanga na samarodu na diaspora challenge men la wala mnyente ko baydi Gambia ni nata cross institutional mel be kumenko European Union ana nyongolo wolle ke bulola Gambia kan ka fasa fankola karola and the European Union ka kodomenta melbe Europe kono ila European dingolo wamba melbe sabatiri Europe ikado ko kidang ika taxo kodo ika walte ika China Gambia. Likewise, how to call it, any other institutional within Europe and America and elsewhere million ko ka Gambia makwe e ka kodo ko di nata ka ke molel million ko ka do ko ke la do ko ka tax men jo o tax nyin kodo ka do bandi wolto ka Gambia makwe na wala so ntela challenge kiramenti ntenga menke ko ngamo bi challenge yak wala minde mandula ko ban tolla holan na député bungo nga wala attaque nen ko nge attaque amanke nge bun bero la o kilo o but nge attaque nen kuma kangolla ka safero ki kaitandila ko alto mil bebe je alto député ol be anni man sa kunda be alka do ko le alka namo jo nyamen ndela min sadam sajan ka do ko ke ja wol nyama andun ka namo jo wala nyama ja ngo alto be kalo janne alko ale terrorism how to call it dictatorship alia condemn alka dictatorship alka wala kela and where tin alia kela alta sonna kala banko kan jang alka corruption o kela alka alta sonna corruption o kala banko kan jang bar ntol meliyalon ko menyim banko kal ta kala dame ntol ka do ko ki janne nka tax men jo na tax ko do alka wala sika alka man sakunda ma koy man sakunda me yalon ka kenta ka pare ka ke dictate dot man sakunda me yalon ko corruption o mala min da jioles alto to corruption o bayla alieta mur kote ka la molla ko la lewo samba katantoli aka falbe corruption o balondi laje ngani ne itandila ngoy because alka kodo men bondi jang alka gambia ma ko ngoy mantala diam kanko nde mu gambia di ngodon na hani nka diamu men ka wala mi ndinde be sabata europe janne nka do ko ke janne andun ka tax jo janne kaltol ka jo nyame woton tel tax ko do malafi alientra tax ko do le taleta di masa kunda me yalon ka be ke kan dictator malafa le na tax ko do nkam fam pali menna wa mbal ka men tambulu alka nin dimbayal balala alka samba molula banko ka melialon ko mo kensol ba tala wala sunya nay tol ni la dimbayal e odu bala sirin to ya tala wa sinta la tax ko la ni ñoy european wol nga wala safe ngay tandira andu ngay tandila ko mbay tandila yor ñu banku dingol la ko alla namo men ika jojan alka namo men jo alla man sakunda ka namo leta ika adi european union ka namo leta ika asamba banku do banko me alon ko nte saram sanya mbodo banko la kamento mu gambiate ka di man sakunda ba o man sakunda wol be dictator yale balundi kan ibe corruption wala balundi kan tubabol ya imanke ko ndol africanol dula jamal be ni wol ye hanni fengol safe yesafe fengo me yalon ko imanda ko la fan komen ndol 3 years jotna tamna biya la ma sakunda safinu yebe man sonna mo amandi ye ma jabi tubabol to nyamat ni safe hanna man di fan the year time o may use ka safro ke ko la appreciate isi safe nam back ka ita ni la yemen safe de ngajele but definitely ndo mansula in we don't need it but ka ita ni la ko year safro men ke ngajele ko kal andon de nga ñu safale na parliament andu yenna safro ñu soto la ya karan andu yalo ne nga men safe memba kono andu yer reply et la commission ñing na parlement na député bu ngala holan na député bu ngala commission yen reply kaytan di yemen sa fa ngajela and normally commission bu ka ku ko wom commission la do ko kada wol kaytan di ngajela e ko bari mbadi lan na parliamentarian la e tolle baaju wela e be menkilal nimmel lafita isata ya ake ba kala nyame nim lafta pour ka use for further debates within the country or in the European Parliament they can use it yen jabi nyala en tant que députés nani ñoy yon commandé o kola including 2 of them meli alon ko be European Parliament na député wol e mune fulo fo ni ko thank you very much pour la ni information e ko nyen dolo malon kabeten ko I'll go and find it out nga proof o dol fawol bi jele mel yalon ko ngol kiye go dole yen ngin kaka foni if you don't mind can we use this article for our further debate ko please na le o ko foni wodi atante famo so this is why I'm kumata auto nintenga okay ntete dan na auto I will challenge all the patriotic Gambians mel yalon ko ibe sirin diaspora especially Europe and America ale be banku kan wo banko nyin alaka do ko ke jalaka tax jo wo tax ko do e ka wona te ka an ata mi ake ma ko ngamen kalbe sa ke non I telling you all despite your political affiliation for me UDP la for me NPP la for me monete ibe party o party hande mel mantra politiko kono kabira hada la ustasol be bu mo imamo la be nga bele kali each and every one of you albe banku ka albe fini ke roje kada alka do ko ke je alka tax la joje undu wo tax ko do one way or the other kana Gambia e ka wala ba tar tiñaje wota be la juuti lam ñente mbega ñen start we do it annal badi malami salam sanya aka badi mazza
assalamu alaikum badi gambiankolu assalamu alaikum gambia ton ko nano be ngal be konto momoni me dawda al badi malamu haji swane mbali yam fadane la katu kawto al baji laje fresco bale benna atuna aljama ba famu tan kawo moyla yo natal dron katu nyin ko mu ku malati nyina atuna nata pour kan kawo fayal beka nonte famantade ko kala du man di ñu wato kono la yo bar ko be nga safe nyamena dron 7 November protest is not for an individual interest but for every Gambian's interest. Kalenko, let's answer the call. Is a national interest. Wale atuna lafta kanyi record ke. November is 7. Menketa tan ninkling. Bari mo ndingalo lafta kanyi protest ke ala lonko inyanta kataraje somanda talan sai inyanta kataraje latole. Mo be nyanta ka fintle early morning ka traffic ko block le. Aramiso lungo le mo benna le Thursday. Nyinga aramiso nyinteng. November ka tili worudo. Ali yalo ne ko constitution kumata bakele niaje ko national interest wala min ko marara kitabo kumata bakele pour banko la fansoto anim banko dingol la fiko pour marar nyimma marar kendo ina o banko kanje Gambia dum fota wala la sanji di muwanning wala sanji tan saba sanyinteng ngambe wala kan Gambia fota munela niaje mantra marar kendo soro ko men laftara nyamenna because maradi kitabo kendo mawla soto no me yalon ko aning hadama wala nyanto si nyojeno mfota wala la ina da ko kundimbe ke kanyim banko kanjang carte fawle mbang masibo ka keje hadama dula nyanto pour ka exercice le mbang masibo ke kanje ki ba talal la bundale mbang abbe fenne mante menyim banko kanjang ning even criminal ni nyapite kan yela fengol tinya la bungol kono la yang tinyarol ke pempe me yalon ko le luwat me yalon ko nyante ka nyanta ka symbole la pour ka wala tamandi alon ko amete febo so pour ka luwata ka falin o banko dingo bele kam wajiboti ando banko fana bela inteso beje inatuna 2017 biring changing keta banko moliajo ko loi ko na hajo bolla inata CRC londi through National Assembly Act o CRC ni wala review ke koren constitution ni loi mbeje menga 1997 constitution ni ndi ya joko amanke fendime alon ko banko nyanta kamara nyanta ka banko wala kitabo tibi so wo CRC ni nataka draft di molla dawento yalon ko million tang ani woro fo men siata wolti wala dépense taw draft kono la wo kodo ni nata pour ka munke wala mun ko kete nyafita kan defana nyafita no keta nun kitabo timina ko wala kala mara kitabo te bi bari nataje ko wo silo kan wo mara kitabo nata problème soto wo problème ni me yalon ko mo kunkin la kun intereso damma wala na yo problème soto no so wo mara kitabo men keta 2020 draft nyinti nyin protest nyimbe wala no ma men keta nyin November 7 protest nyinti coalition of progressive Gambia wala ya organize anon coalition of progressive Gambia ka folo muy me alon ko ibelori mbakele katu ngajele ko ñil lefta mun ka pintinu November 11 2023 mol nataje ko ñinu manke ñinti kuma jama fela koto bare anim bite may man say koma so akamunta ko dron mol ñinta kamen sude wala mun ko ñin ka fom ka folo me alon ko ñon ka fom man siya Gambia jang andung ka fo ñimu ka folo me alon ko amallo ka political party krim fasa jang anota ka banko be la interso de fasa andu banko la bela intenso ni ko yo fasa akamoto ko banko dingo bela entaka dablo kon la so wala nabe kuma la bake le pour banko dingo be dan ko nyin ko mandiro la petition lo mi ba sama national assembly kay tan lo lay tan di lo la me yalon ko be kala 2020 draft kon sononti ka fa banko dingo la ko dum da marar kitabo men na kuwo kunto wo draft nyi nyanta kanale national assembly e kay même fo men nyi même 2024 draft nyi di barola nyi ba soko draft nyi di nga lonne ko wole fo ngana tinyata kasiya même benu nje men 1997 constitution ote kadu baro ala nyi 2024 draft nyi aba ko la pour ka député fo me yalon ko mole carte fa wala fo député men ta ka tombo ate so baynole nyi mu ko me yalon ko ku karanta mbalel mu nyi men yalon ko moma yi lema andu 1997 constitution fo mantra ko la baro la 2024 draft wa ala taka wole nakata luwati wole be tamale mako kanjang inspector general of police wol be mbulal mi alon ko ay wol be lamfundi bakele inata local government to men dama sakundari ngol to alu fana be tala ke be lamfundi ko take kala autonomy ta ka doyandi ka taybulla so ñin be mu ko mi alon ko banko dimo be man ñana kay fa ñin ka ko ñin mu jumalde ñin kumandiro ñi mu kumandir mi alon ko banko la intereso le mu amanke mo kunkila intereso de so banko be na intereso ni ngo moy mo man ñana ka jibe te pati jumalto mo man ñana ka jibe ka fo ñin mu kar jumalde bar tay danko ko wandiro la because men ka message ñin di message senon le men di andu men fana message fana di ka mo kuma balel mu banko la alhalo to kadu ilodula daji ko karola mbele ngaaje birin 2023 an bitema they are very consistent they are very consistent hanata mole criticise nyaaw nyale bar han sa yibe wokata ko kilina ka ko nyimban ko e finte so mbal be ko man la banko dingolu ba mo kanaji be ka fo nte munyim parti karalti mo kanaji be ko ndo parti hani ndede insha Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ara misalungo albentar la nyindula to le national assembly bon road albentar la jer sumanda talan say dron ngala hido di ko metar la andu momo ne bifta ko mi indi amul men be nyin katakol men na sudo nintilo abebe men molum ka gambia fintindi ala lon ka bukata no marar kitabo kendo koma so pour go marar kitabo kendo so no banko di ngol lilo da pour nga kelo ke ngosoto ali nga ta ka fu nyoma nga nyosen ben du yandi ak mokara batu ka fo komen ndede parti nanga mo mawla molji wala parti nanga mo wala molbi wala tan tala mo kana woji bo gañ ko to ñim message joni nala so dala jam bake ala make so ay dum bungo bumbe banko ka ja dunje muso ka fol men yalon ko lebi jang banta bal men be jang a be yalon ko ñim mu fenet me yalon ka ko mata bake ka to wo muso wolel dingo men ala batala ñim marar kit aw me yalon ko kata kelo ko pour wala nari wala ko ite dingo biring ala karam bunga sta karam to lumenna fo ay jilu menna ala karam mo nyanda ko firireti baro ko hani atato kala baro nata wo taka kuntu balaw ko la fana a fan su kon sono nati ben kala 2024 draft ako atamantra mol dingo la karam muta la ka masakunda to jola andu masakunda mol la namul kataje so naaje 2020 draft yo semben to yan wala min to ko mo jamaala beje bi kala fi dingo le karang bari wo dingo le karang wala because munemu al isembo bulo me ko ben so pour mankor masakunda lo wala wo mu wajibolti kanu amarar kendo fana ko dolla ko sono nyaale aji tapalan na kada banko la fankoti nyaka nyamen ay foara jaw mel banko dingo ka so 2020 draft nyin ako nyaaton kaya nin daji ko kendo o mukul me yalon ko loi nyanda ka bampule ka face saji anti corruption commissional wol sila sembo so no sembo me yalon ko isi tu kunno ala pour ka tajrintel ta ke kelendi nyim banko kanjang men ka banko dingol kunami la fengo kan o fanasi danno kanjim banko kanjang baroko hani ate date bola woto in fact ate telefon akoto an extend ko ate nala minister lu niwe ke la minister di askeno mol se kiskisino ninjele be dunna bar ni ke minister ni be fintilo place do mo manyane ke tel nyininka ninjele be fintika so idun to ngejibe bari fintito malla fike jibe o munete wala mutapala na kare awol sementu yande o fana ma wasa ko de bara ko député olde wol men yalon golle mu loi dalalte wol dum to be kiskisala ngejibe ni jalle data bari fintito fana mbol fana kiskisala ni jalle data so député nyanda ka mol men kanta akontol kiskisala bar député men yalon golle nyanda ko kanta mol to yala akon bo député kiskisala le yalon tapale na kare afende tilo man traw ko la de so la da ko mal bagal pour nga finti ñin 2020 draft ñing nga kafo ko lesson progress gambia ma nge kawo janga yandi ya lodula meta banko en nga lonko lodula ko mabare mo so nyina dam fana ngan kan fay mo be kan nyim banko ton ko nano to kay tandala ko ali ngallo ngam bulo di nyola nga no sembentu yande nga kenyo en amba fenko de soldiarolti nindo ya kodi nindo e kenyindo soldiarolti nindo fana kendo de soldiarote wo ko la do isajen si mara kitab kendo so no me yalon ko be kala banko dingol be sawoti kiba talal si fansoto banko dingol si fansoto banko la senal si fansoto katu nyim mara kitab me yalon ko wala ko mo fo naketa mara kitab minga 2020 draft konsonote Senegal la ko aya bambandi bakele fonninkel la ko aya bambandi bakele anun kotali system aya fasa bakele memu muso la nyanto da fasa bakele membe den ni representation la karola so wala atuna sasa ben na nyaawo nyam pare ko sina drum fana ngan kan fayal kan kat nala ko kukum ma balem nyenti andu lunkum ma balemu andun tama kuma balemu menketa protest kuma balemu me yalon ka men wolu jama bela intesoti ko kam me yalon ko wala be ma ko la kamar kendo ta ka sansan ka bambandi ka tankandi fana nyimba ko kanjang
bari dañu falale ko nal tata alla banko defense
al tata tonya yitanda la banko mansala le men sindi wo tonya ni man la fi kamo e man la fi mansaya je mansaya la moy itawta yale attack pour al si panic ali bori ali janjang yenal killing control natra wala beje ali be wala kela ali be borla ila wutimba falaliya alkana ta bara la nyanto la leta de kantunal man ta aliyala fangla ke jongoti aliyala fango ke wuloti aliyala fango ke kutun kannoti aliyala fango ke hasidoti ko alkam memfo Ismaila Ceesay ni Mohamed Sabali ma wali banko jamfa nyame yaltol fonnin kel jamfa nyame altol leta jawiyata wolti because Allah nyaton kol men e kankularo ke pour banko e finti banko fonnin kel finti kala banko bondi ali wolel dundi problème ko to jamfa wala warata Mohamed Sabali ni Ismaila Ceesay la jamfati al singil londe momo fintita itata idanko progressive Gambia la kumandirola ibanku din kende alale be fasala alale be kundane la tonya ni wala finta tonya le bebu bar ning atra mo jawol ning banko tayla le bank man sa kunda jaw men bali nyato wala kuruya ila manya jawol men allafto wala condemn la adu mallafu aliya wala condemn mallafu aliya wala yitande dunya la foko bali attack la mba falali allo al sintan anim fulola aliya al fan defense aliya al banko defense Senegal ngi nek and Palestine ini Israel be nyola America kamana for Israel will defend themselves Ebugavo Israel will attack but Israel will defend himself with Gambia funding kelu al pare ko al kata la nyantola noma demokratia al bula menna banko loi section 25 constitution 1997 constitution o meya yitandi peaceful protest wo loi aluo defense aluo noma bar progressive Gambia nyin kumandro maliya keten al maji kinyen kama ko Gambia alfa men delta ka finti protest la kala nyantol kele kadialla mamiral ya kumandro ke pour alfa kilin le fintinan.
Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is the Minister of Information, News Media and Broadcasting Services, also overseeing the Ministry of Communication and the digital economy. Very busy man. Welcome back to Coffee Time.
Thank you very much, Peter, and good morning.
A very busy man, a very popular man, or maybe infamous man. I mean, your name was all over the place. Yes. What have you been saying again?
Well, I think before I respond to that, I'd like to, I normally don't respond to certain issues, but I think because Alagie City Barrow mentioned my name on 2 occasions, I need to respond in kind.
Sure.
This is a man, Alagie City Barrow, who is a coward, who is not trustworthy, but also who is not reliable, and who is ungrateful, and I'll tell you why. He's a coward because he's one of the masterminds of the December 30th coup in 2014. He was supposed to come with his colleagues to overthrow Yahya Jammeh. He stayed behind, and his colleagues were killed, and he ran away. The second thing is that he's not trustworthy. When after Barrow came to power, he came running to Barrow looking for a job, was given a job at the TRRC. He didn't complete his job. He got himself a wife there, and he left with the wife, not completing his job, his assignment in the TRRC. He's not trustworthy. He's ungrateful because why? It's now that he can now make statements by giving his full name. Under Jammeh used to use a pseudonym called Eden Sharp. Why wasn't he using his real name under Jammeh? It means he was a coward, and he's ungrateful. I should be thankful to Barrow that the space, the freedom that Barrow has created, Now, he can use his real name to criticize the government. We have no problems with that. They can critique. But I think it should be fair, but also to do it in a manner which is very professional. I think that is my response to Alagie Barrow. Now, when it comes to the, you said my name has been everywhere. Yes, I made statements, and I stand by those statements that nobody, no organization, no movement, being political or otherwise, can stop President Barrow from running in 2026 if he so wishes to do so. Perhaps some people took offense in the manner in which I said it, the comportment, and I regret it. I think it was unbecoming of me to make those statements in such a manner. That one I take full responsibility. But what I said, I still stand by it. Not nobody, no organization, no being political or otherwise, can stop the president from running in 2026 if so wishes to.
No, if that was all you said, I mean, why should anybody take offense at that?
Well, the manner in which I said it, they thought it wasn't very professional. The comportment wasn't good, and I accept. It's unbecoming of me to speak like that. I never speak like that.
Well, you know, Madi, I mean, he did a long piece on that, alleging that actually you insulted the parents of Gambians in the diaspora.
Well,
why would you want to do that?
I never did. I mean, what I said is that nobody's dad owns the Gambia. Why is he lying that? Whose dad owns it? Even my dad doesn't own the Gambia. I did not insult anybody's parent. Now, when it comes to Madi is suffering from a dual syndrome of idleness and bitterness. Therefore, that is why now his main task is to just attack the presidency. I think Madi should go political, and that organization he has created, the Edward Francis Small, whatever he has created, should go political. Madi cannot be hiding behind activism to do politics. He's just transformed that organization into a political party and come to the terrain and do politics. He can't be hiding behind activism to do politics. We all know Madi. He's political now. I think he's in that dual syndrome of bitterness and idleness. That is why he's just every day sitting and writing. Now, after this, he can go and write a big PhD thesis and attack me again. I don't care. But what I can tell Madi is that let him come political. Let him not stop hiding behind activism, come political. That's what's easy. What I said was very simple. Nobody's dad owns the Gambia. Even my dad doesn't own the Gambia. Why is he lying that? Whose dad owns the Gambia? The manner in which I said it, like I said, is unbecoming, and I regret the way I said it. But that is the truth. They cannot be sitting everywhere, bullying people and expecting people to succumb to those bullies. And the Constitution is clear. The president can seek another mandate without breaking the law. Why should people start a camp to say by force not a third term? It's unconstitutional, and we cannot accept that.
Why would Madi be bitter? What would Madi be bitter for?
Well, he knows why he's bitter.
No, you're saying he's bitter.
But because
I suppose you would say that only because you know why he should
because
should
of
be bitter.
His actions depict a man who's bitter. I don't know the reasons for his bitterness, but his actions, the way he's doing things, it depicts this. He's not fighting corruption. Madi never writes about the revelations at the local government council, the exposure of corruption in local governments that are run by the UDP. He never talks about that. The only thing he does is every day attacks the president. Whenever the president speaks, he attacks the president. I mean, he does not that is not what activism. He has transcended activism. Now he's gone political, and I think Madi wants to become political, but he's afraid, he's scared to come to the terrain. Let him be a man and come to the terrain and be political. We'll accept that, like everybody else does.
You seem to be suggesting that Madi is hard on the NPP and very lenient with the UDP.
That is the fact. That is by all indication. Madi is not only hard on, he's hard on the, Madi has a political agenda. He wants to come political. That is his agenda. But he's scared. He's finding a way to do it, and now he's trying to make it in a man. Let him come political. Let him be like a man and come political and say, you know what, I'm going to run 2026, and does his politics. Let him go to the terrain. He cannot be hiding behind activism. It doesn't work anymore.
Scared of who? Dr. Ceesay or Adam Barrow or who?
Maybe the backlash of being political. Maybe, I don't know. But I think that he needs to come being political.
Did you face any backlash for, becoming political?
It's not easy being a political. You get criticized, you get insulted, you get questioned, your integrity is questioned. It comes with the terrain. It's called the incident, the occupational hazards of a politician. He is a coward. He should come and say, you know what, I am going political. I let him face the consequence of going political. He cannot continue hiding behind activism to do his politics.
There was a time when he defended you, and you were happy that Madi was writing on your behalf.
Well, that's how it works. I also defended him at some point.
When you say that's how it works...
That is when you go wrong, we say you've gone wrong. When you go right, we say you've gone right. We just speak as it is. If he does something right, I'll say he's done something right in my view.
Fantastic. The papers are all singing the praise of Barrow, if you like, that he's decided to drop the civil suit against the Voice newspaper. I understand there was a meeting with sections of the media where you were present. Tell me about it, because I wasn't there.
Yes, in fulfillment of his desire to promote press freedom and to promote freedom of speech in this country, the president has decided to withdraw his lawsuit against.
In fulfillment of his desire.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have gone to court in the first place.
Yeah, but the president has a right to go to court. I mean, you remember in the
calling
previous.
it in a different way.
That's what I'm saying, is that in the previous era, if a journalist writes something which the presidency deemed to be injurious, they don't take you to court. They arrest you, you disappear, or you are killed.
That did not happen to Sanatix Mane. You were not there. That did not happen to Sanatix Mane. President Jawara also went to court, you said, in the previous...
I'm talking about the Jame era.
Yeah,
when I said the previous era. In the Jame era, it didn't happen. So if this is a promotion of democracy, it shows that the rule of law works, that the president believes in the separation of powers, and he also has trust and confidence in the justice system, that if a report is being made and he feels that that report is injurious to his person, to his party, to his government, he takes the law to the courts, to a competent court to decide. I think that is within his rights. Now, the journalists, the GPU, the Media Council, the Newspaper Publishers Association, the Journalists Women Association came to meet the president yesterday and pleaded with him to drop the charges, and he listened, and he's a president who is tolerant, who listens, and who has got enormous empathy. And after listening to them, he decided to withdraw the lawsuit against the Voice newspaper, the civil lawsuit.
And were the Voice newspaper required, I mean, the editors, were they required to say anything to the president by way of an apology?
The editor came later. He did not meet the president. He came one day because when the...
Why were they not there? I mean, this meeting was apparently on their behalf.
Yes, but the issue was that, like I said, the media practitioners came to plead with the president without Musa Sharif, the Voice newspaper. And when the president decided to withdraw his lawsuit, we had an extra meeting later on with Musa Sharif, who really admitted regret in the publication, and then we agreed that now we are going to publish a statement to say that he has regretted his statement, and the president has now forgiven him and will withdraw the civil lawsuit against him and the newspaper.
How far had the case been in the courts?
I think there was only one sitting when it comes to the civil. Remember, there are two cases. They have the criminal charges and also the civil suit brought by the president and his legal representatives. Now, the president doesn't have say, because our police, the police is an independent institution and we don't want to be interfering, or the president doesn't want to interfere with the work of the police. What he has control over is the lawsuit that is brought forward by him and his legal representatives against the Voice newspaper, Musa Sharif. That is what he has withdrawn or promised to withdraw.
Could it be that, in this initial, open desire to punish the Voice newspaper journalists by dragging them to court, whether through a civil or criminal lawsuit, that the police will now even, pursue the Voice journalists even more vigorously than they would have if both suits had been pursued in court?
Well, I wouldn't assume so. What I know is that the president did not take Musa Sharif and the Voice to court for the sole purpose of punishing them, is to seek redress in a competent court of law when he felt injured. Like every other citizen can do. If Musa Sharif had cause to take the president to court for a statement made by the president that he felt injured, that nobody would have said anything. It's his right as well as a citizen to seek redress in competent court. The president as a citizen has a right to seek redress in a competent court. The aim of the president is not to punish. Is to seek redress for a publication that he felt was injurious to his person, to his presidency, to the institution of the president, but also to his political party.
And redress in the form of what?
Well, that the courts will decide that. It's a civil case. It's to seek redress. Because when Musa Sharif made the publication, when the Voice made the publication, the president's legal representatives wrote to the paper to retract and apologize, which they refused to do, and they were threatened to be taken to the courts for the courts to give a verdict, and then the president wanted just redress. But now when it comes to the criminal case, this is solely within the purview of the police, and the president, His Excellency Adama Barrow's government, doesn't interfere with the work of the police, and therefore it is left to the police to pursue that case.
Okay, let's move on. Let's help us understand why the GPPA has decided to grant procurement autonomy to 9 additional institutions.
Well, it's to make their work easy, but it doesn't mean...
Given the experience we have with procurement in this country?
It's not a blanket check for procurement. What it does is that there are certain threshold, I'm not sure of the threshold, that these institutions cannot go ahead and do the procurement. However, they will be subjected to checks, regular checks, auditing as well, to ensure that they follow due process. It's not like it's a blanket that you go on wherever you want and that's it. No. It's because normally what happens is that even if you want to buy a pencil today, it has to go through up to a certain threshold. I think $500,000. It has to go through a GPPA process.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where pencils have been costed, what would ordinarily be 60 bututs have been costed to be what, $600 or $60?
Yes. No. What this says is it doesn't mean that you will not be checked. You'll be checked, but not at the point of sale. But there'll be periodic checking as well to ensure you follow due process. So it's like you can go ahead and do the procurement, but after some time, they'll come and make sure that you follow due process. So nobody will go scot-free in that. It's not like it's a blanket to say you do procurement and there'll be no consequences. No, due process will be followed. They'll come and make sure that proper auditing is done to ensure that you indeed follow due process when you are doing the procurement. So it's just that at the point of doing it, you don't have to be having the burden of going through a GPPA when you need to move and do things quickly. But then that will come after. So it's like post auditing of procurement rules, if I may use that word.
Hopefully, one of the things that will come up in cabinet tomorrow will be Bakari Baji's explanation of what happened with the CAF inspection of the Independence Stadium. Gambians are angry that the expected readmission of the Independence Stadium, based on what the ministry officials have been telling us about the refurbishment work, isn't happening. The Scorpions are going to have to play their next match again outside the country.
It's unfortunate. And then I think we really feel the pain of playing another match, especially this was our last match of the year in another territory. It's unfortunate, but CAF has their own standards. And remember, this stadium was built in 1983, and it has not undergone any comprehensive renovation.
It's the pitch we're talking about.
That
we couldn't even maintain the grass.
It's a new pitch. It's a hybrid pitch. It's very expensive to maintain. I think you need some expertise to maintain it. Perhaps that is the reason why the pitch had some issues. But it's a new pitch. It's a new pitch that they've laid there. We'll work on that. This thing is a process. And then I hope that when we work on this, CAF has promised to provide a consultant to guide the Gambia to make sure that they prepare the pitch. Maybe hopefully in our next home game in March 2025, we'll play it in Gambia.
But that has to happen.
It has to happen.
Otherwise, you'll question why you people are, in your positions. And people are calling for the head of Bakari Baji. Do you think that is fair? Do they have reason to say that?
I think it's unfair. The stadium has been given the go-ahead in all aspects. And remember, this is a sports facility, and sports infrastructure renovation is not like any other renovation, like another building. There are different components to the lighting, the security, the scoreboard, the pitch, the tracks, it's different. So if everything is been passed, it's just the pitch, I think we can work on that and make sure that we sort that before our next home game.
Rather than refurbishment, is it in time to start thinking of a brand new stadium, a more modern stadium that can accommodate more people? I mean, the population is growing and not getting any smaller.
We will, but it's expensive. It costs a whole lot of money to build a brand new stadium. And I think if we have the resources, we'll build it. That's what we want as a government. But again, it has to do with resources as well.
It's 9:30. Ismaila, thank you very much for coming. How would you like to conclude?
Well, thank you very much, and I hope to see you next week.
Fantastic. That's Dr. Ismaila Ceesay, Minister of Information, News Media, and Broadcasting Services.